I have a stuttering speech disorder. I felt very negative about life state. I've been diagnosed with a depression. My depression is changes. It was hard for me to express myself using the voice. I started to feel more and more freely. I can trust to other people. It really seems like a miracle of some sort. I feel that my depression mostly gone.
The main goal of the integral method for developing emotional intelligence through the sound is well-being. However, every participant joins with their own personal goal. What was your personal goal when you started using this method?
I have a stuttering speech disorder, which means that sometimes I can't talk fluently to people and I can have severe speech blocks, being unable to tell anything. And it also, I also experience during this negative feelings such as fear or panic. And it's something that makes your life really hard. And I wanted to deal with my stuttering. I wanted to do something about it. And I got interested in this method because it works with emotions, with how we express emotions. And I always felt that stuttering blocks me from expressing myself emotionally. And I liked that we work with not only with positive emotions, but with negative emotions as well. We learn how to express in a more healthy way our negative emotions.
In this method, we have two types of goals: main goal and personal goal. The goal defines how we perceive things. Did you notice if your personal goal changed because of the main goal?
Yes, my personal goal changed during our practice because my goal was all about stuttering. It was very important topic for me. And I never liked the concept that I can accept my stuttering without curing it, without being able to talk fluently. But when during this practice, I felt that exactly this happened, that even without my desire, I become able to accept stuttering, and it become much less because I have a severe form of stuttering and sometimes I can't talk at all, but my stuttering reduced and it became not that important for me. It was not something that would define my life anymore, and I noticed that now I want to set other goals, and while the main goal is well-being, because my well-being is no longer related to the fact whether I have stuttering or not. And when you set your goal, when you pay attention to your goal, then you start to notice something related to your goal in anything that you pay attention to. You start noticing small details, you start noticing, you start think of usual things, of usual events. You start to see it through your goal, through you start to perceive the world through your goal. And at first I thought that our main goal is something that is very formal, something that that doesn't mean much, doesn't mean anything, because it's like some general idea. But then I realized that when stuttering became not so important for me, I think that this main goal, it started to form my future personal goals, and I been in a depressed state. I've been diagnosed with a depression, and I set my goal as to be in contact with my body, with feelings inside my body, to establish link between everything. And I felt that it really helps me with depression, that my depression is changes to something completely opposite, that instead of feeling constant sadness in life, I start to feel joy.
To reach our common goal, we need to be in touch with ourselves. This requires establishing a link between our body sensation, feelings, and emotions. A link we create through our voices and breathing.
I have a good example how it happened to me. When you stutter, the first thing that they teach you when you try to deal with your stuttering is to breathe deep, to breathe with your diaphragm. And it was something that I was trying to do all the time, and perhaps it's a good advice, but for me it sometimes created sometimes I would feel panic during stuttering or in situations related to stuttering. And when I was trying to breathe deep with my diaphragm, I would it would be something unnatural, and it would create even more negative feelings, even more panic. And when I started our practice, I started to listen to feelings in my body and paying attention to what body wants. And I felt that it wants to breathe shallow. It wants to breathe exactly how it would breathe during panic. Very shallow, very fast breathing. And when I did it, I felt that my panic maybe not goes away, but turning into something else, not in a negative feeling, but in something that brings excitement, perhaps, something that is interesting, not a negative.
How do we create the connection between our feelings, body sensations, and emotions? We do practical exercises. And every exercise has 3 parts. First part, the goal. Second part, the sounding, where we use our voice for expressing our feelings. And third part, the reflection. We're thinking about our experience. So, please share your own experience, how it was when you be part of the sound group.
Breathing the way I feel helps me to get in contact, in touch with my body. And then if I start expressing myself with voice, but not in a verbal way, not by using words, but by expressing through sounds, it helps me to express emotionally better, because I feel that I sometimes struggle to express my emotions because of stuttering, because of how I get used to talk, to pronounce words, and doing it without words changes something for me. It helps me to get in touch with my emotions, with my feelings. And it may look or sound very strange for someone who not in the practice, someone who observes this, but I know what it gives me. And before I start doing exercises, I would set my goal, and after I sound it, I would reflect how it was for me and how it was related to my goal, and it helps me reach my goal. It helps me understand my goal, whether I should keep it or change it. Overall, it helps to get in touch with myself.
Let's look at the second part, sounding. In this part, we allow ourselves to express our feelings using our voices. And please share your experience.
When I just started visiting our practice, it was hard for me to express myself using the voice. I struggled to do it. I always have concerns what people will think about me and such. But during the practice, during the sessions, I started to feel more and more freely. And I think changes happened when I understood that I can trust to other people, that it's a safe space, and that no matter what sound will I do, how weird, how awkward or foolish it may sound, I will not be judged. I will be accepted, or at least people won't tell anything to me. And when I felt this way, when I felt acceptance, then it became much more easier for me to express myself with sound of my voice. And sometimes I feel that I can completely stop controlling myself, stop judging myself, how I sound. And I think that this practice is very unique, because I don't know where else I can do this. In all other practices where people use their voice, it's usually they have to do it in some formal way, like they have to sing correct notes, or they have to use certain words if they sing a song. And in our practice, you can do anything. You can stay silent for a whole session, or you can yell, scream, growl, you can do anything, and it's something really unique. And to achieve this, we need a safe space, and this safe space is created by the effect that our facilitator Maryna takes part in what we do, not as a head of the group, but more like a participant of the group. She shares her feelings just in the way as other participants do, and she sounds with other group. So it helps, it creates trust.
Now, the third part, reflection. Reflection is the key. We do it every time after each exercises and in our group chat. It helps us to understand our experience and stay focused on our goals. And please share your experience with the group chat and reflection.
There is something very different for me to reflect on my experience, not just to myself, like I might do if I have a diary, but to reflect, to share with someone else, to do it in a chat. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I will get a certain reaction to my reflection. I do not expect this, because we have a rule in this chat that we do not advise to each other and we do not criticize each other, so that everyone can express freely. And this chat is more about expressing yourself, but it also does something very important, knowing that someone else can read your reflection. And being in sharing your thoughts publicly helps to be more open, to concern less about what other people might think of you. And we can achieve all this because we are in a safe space. It really means a lot creating such safe space. And sometimes reflections of other people help you as well, because when you set your goal and when you in the same space, then even something that otherwise would seem like very small or very simple, it can click and change something in your mind, like you get some insight, some enlightenment of some sort. So there's really something special for me to share my thoughts, my reflection in the chat. When I started this practice about 2 months ago, I would say that I was completely different person, maybe not completely, but I would be ashamed to talk about my stuttering, to admit that I have it, and it would be rather severe form of stuttering. And I felt very negative about life, been depressed, and it really seems like a miracle of some sort. I always skeptical to such things, but it's something that happened, and I have to admit it. That it was very. It feels like very long 2 months, and now I do not care about stuttering. I can admit it, and I feel that my depression mostly gone. That now most of the time I feel myself well. I feel positive emotions, and I would never thought that I'll be recorded on the video before, because I would avoid people most of the time and publicity. So it was a very good and enjoyable experience.